are alive and in color.
I knew I was alive. I knew it. I woke up this morning and I'm like, I'm so alive.
Baby, I'm so alive.
So you make sure it was listed? Public?
No, but it wasn't like last time it was like that, but I got the notification.
Oh, you got the notification?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
I did get the notification.
So announce yourself.
Where you at?
Where you at? Where are we
On the
at?
road.
Mile marker 255
on
Interstate
81 South.
81 South. Where are you at? Well, you should be home by now. They ducked out already.
Hey, Brett.
Yeah,
Is it Brett or Brent? It's Brett, right?
It's just some guy. Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. I know,
right? Mm-hmm. Cause it cuts like a knife.
Hello, all on the road again. Yep.
Here we are.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's one thing about these conferences.
The hardest thing about the conferences is saying goodbye.
Saying goodbye.
Yep.
Said I was coming back. I did. Y'all were gone. Probably not, though. We were probably floating. We were just
incognito.
Because believe it or not, we were still at the fairgrounds until about 10:30 last night. Just in a different area.
And that's before we got over.
Hey, they
to
got a
Lowe's.
bear on the back.
I know, I saw that and I was kind of like, what?
Humming bear or something cabins. Ryan says he wants his soap. I know, I need to make some. Southern goodbyes always take a while. Yes. Zach's editing and Jen's driving.
I could not edit going down the road. I would throw up. The motion I would blow chunks. I would.
I have a hard time. Like one of the things, like, you know, you start trying to post stuff, take pictures of stuff. When we're doing the conference, because we're a vendor, you know, we have to sell stuff, and I just kind of.
Amy.
Hey, Amy.
I thought for sure Amy and Nunda would both be in a coma by now.
Yeah. When we drove by there this morning, they were still breaking stuff down.
Yeah.
Because our Airbnb was like really close to the. It was really close to the fairgrounds. We drive by it on the way.
Shh. Shh.
Shh.
I'm sick.
I'm sick.
So another wonderful Homesteaders of America conference.
In the books.
In the books.
Yes.
We are homeward bound from the HOA conference. And now here's the thing. We've been coming to the HOA all 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Each year, you know, it's easy to say, well, each year they topped themselves, they bettered it.
Mm-hmm.
But see, that doesn't really give it justice.
I feel like it doubles on itself.
It double doesn't even give it justice. Each year, the HOA conference gets so much better that you absolutely forget about the year before. And so, you know, it's like I said...
It's like childbirth. No,
yeah.
not really. But I bet Amy feels that way.
I think I said it to Mark, Amy's husband. I said, okay.
Mm-hmm. Now what?
Now what are y'all going to do? Because you blow the previous year out of the water each time.
I'll tell you what I loved about this is that you can see this thing like it grow every year. Like the way that they do things, like they're not just there to put on this event. They're actively there looking at what they've done and what's working and what's not working. And I guarantee you, like last night, they were sitting down going, okay, what can we do different next year? What do we need to do, you know, different?
No, last night they were probably like...
No, they were in the office last night. I'm telling you, they were talking about it. Because there's things that, like, right away, you've got to go, okay, let's just remember we do this different. We got to do this different, or that really works. Like, one thing I noticed that was wonderful from a vendor perspective, and even possibly from a participant's perspective, was the fact that they spaced out the speakers a little bit.
Yes.
So there was an ebb and flow for traffic. So if you needed
I think she probably did that to get me to shut up. To be able, so that way I could go
yes,
pee
because it was
and get
all
something
about
to drink.
you.
Listen, it is.
It's always about
It is. Because every year I was giving Amy such a hard time about how she was whoop-pow, cracking that whip. And she's like, I'm gonna shut that fat boy up.
No, shut it
I'm
down.
gonna shut it down.
Shut it down.
Lock it down.
Lock it down. That's
And
it.
that was so.
Yep. Yes, a lot of people comment about loving the space in between.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
will tell you, and the kids stutter was a great idea. Yes. Doing the things for the kids was, and even though ours weren't as weren't participating as much in it, it just, that was an awesome addition for the children. Yeah, Kids Stutter was packed to the max. The kids' classes really impacted. Yeah, and that really, we always complain about being a generation removed. This is the way that you make sure that doesn't happen again. And I think they're doing their part and then some to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yep.
So yeah, there was a lot of contribution from the community to be able to make Kids that are possible, and that was definitely it was a great idea, and the spacing was wonderful. It made it easier for vendors to be able to have to go to the bathroom, just little things that they're thinking about, that were very good points. Was, I was talking to Meyer Hatchery, and they had to learn that whole the ebb and flow of traffic so that they could make it to the bathroom and not have to wait 30 minutes, and when you have those speakers and people actually going to see the speakers, then it gives the vendors a chance to take a deep breath, go grab a bite to eat, or go to the bathroom, or whatever they need to do, and have minimal.
One of the things that I learned, again, and I probably say this every year, I have to drink more water. After the first day, I was dehydrated again. I woke up with a headache, and I was like, duh, drink more water.
Well, and I'll tell you one even funnier, because we knew this. The very first year, I forgot water. I did, but I didn't. It was only a one-day event the first year.
Right.
And so I had our stainless cups. I filled them with ice before we left the hotel, and I filled them with water, and I went and refilled them with water. So that was kind of okay the first year. And we got granola bars, and it was very difficult to be able to go from the booth to and what's crazy, y'all, is that I think about how small that one was compared to these, and how we didn't manage to go to, and I really think that's the layout. The venue that they have now makes it very easy to be able to go to the restroom, go to grab something to eat much quicker than it was the very first year. And so you can see where they have learned so much.
It's just a progression.
It's really, but it's great to know that they're doing that they're not just, well, let's just throw this thing together. They're like, okay, this is what worked this year, this is what didn't work this year. And I love that, because it gives you hope that even though this year was incredible, there's no doubt in my mind that next year will be better, because they'll have learned some tweaking things that maybe we might not have even noticed, that having run it, they'll know,
They listen to the feedback.
Yes, absolutely. So, but what we did learn from progression of going ourselves is that we need to make sure we have food, at least as a vendor. We have to have something to be able to snack on,
And
because
see,
it's hard.
I feel we covered that this year. We had all the bags of the trail mix and
We
the
did have
water.
that.
It's just
Well-
remembering to do it.
But here's the funny thing. When you raise your children to be giving and loving and caring for people, we bought a 24 or 36 pack of water, and I started to notice, when somebody wasn't drinking water, I would say, and Farmer Meemaw is a good example. She came up to me and she's like, Doug told me that my lips were chapped and I was dehydrated and I needed to drink some water. And I was like, well, I've got a bottle of water right here. And that was like the first day. And so I just gave her one of the bottles, didn't think anything of it. Well, then I started looking, and my children were being
But that's a part
loving.
about being
It
a
was.
community.
It was, but the problem was is that they were running out of water everywhere else too. And so I was like, we need to kind of watch our water and make sure. And the other thing that was frustrating is, especially with children, is they would drink half a bottle and then leave it sitting somewhere.
I didn't care. If I saw the
started
bottle,
drinking water.
I wanted the water. I didn't care if it was half a bottle.
I
I
was the
automatically
same
said,
way.
okay, that's mine.
Mm-hmm.
And just drank it.
Yeah, Carol came up to me this morning, and her lips are, not only are they chapped, but they're like puffy, like look like she's had collagen put in them or something, like they're all swollen. She's like, Mom, I need some chapstick. Her little lips are poking out. I thought it was all great. The only thing I would say is maybe have more food vendors if possible, because the lines are so long. That's never going to change.
That's never going to change. I don't
never
think.
going to change.
Because here's the thing. Last year, there was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Amy, last year there was like 2,500 people there. From my understanding, there was close to 5,000 people there this year.
Vendor giving away bottles of water, and my kids were good about helping themselves. Yes, there was a vendor giving away water. That's right. The Homestead insurance guy.
Yeah. And each year, I think that this conference is constantly going to double and getting bigger.
Yeah.
And like one of the things that John told me was from Friday to Saturday, they had to bring in, they realized right away they needed to bring in extra porta-johns.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
And so I think the food vendors things, packing them in, I think they've got, I think they got the number exactly right.
They had like, what, 3 or 4?
Right. It's just that the numbers keep growing.
Yeah.
And there's really no more space.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one of the things that I thought was really cool that they did this year was opening up the camping
Yes.
part.
Yes, that was cool.
I think that was really cool.
And you say extra space, I still feel like they have room, because that whole area where we had our class was shut off. So they have room to grow if they needed to. And not necessarily for food vendors, but just in general, if there was,
I don't know.
But I think the problem with any event is there's never enough potties and there's never enough food, or never enough options for food. So that's a good problem to have.
I think they
Hi,
got that.
hoping I can go next year. Gotta see if I can afford it, as I'll be going by myself. Yeah, it's okay, y'all. Just popping in to say, love seeing y'all. We absolutely love seeing y'all this weekend, Heritage Ways. It was nice to get to see your family again after Missouri.
Good times.
Back to Roots Stead. I like that. That's a new name.
Who?
Welcome. Back to Roots Stead. And then I saw another name in here that was new. Let's see. Leap of Faith. Hey, Mike. Thank you for sharing your wife with us for the weekend. Tracy was awesome. It was nice to meet her. A homestead life in Appalachia. I saw y'all. I saw t-shirts of y'all. So welcome. And I think that was the one. I think that might have been it. So.
Hey y'all, it's Farmer Meemaw.
And today.
It's always wonderful to see Farmer Meemaw, the Pratts, Aldermans.
My new BFF is going to be Amanda Beal, I'm just saying. I'm so mad at her.
The Hollers, it was great to catch up with the Hollers again.
Very well organized. Yes, it
Yes.
was. I want to YouTube, but scared to. LOL, but we're learning. Urban farm in Southern California. Woo! Freedom using farm and acre. Or arbor, sorry.
We made new
Homestead
friends.
in Highlands. What's up, girl?
Who said that they were afraid to do YouTube?
What's the new one? The Back to Rootstead.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just
That's all I can tell you.
do it.
Were there lots of people that don't have a YouTube? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Lots.
Yeah.
Lots. There were people that, because like where we were staying, She said they do it the same weekend as the Festival of the Leaves. Festival of the Leaves or something like that. And so there was probably a lot of local people that were driving by, saw all the, 5,000 people.
Yeah. I knew it was 5K.
Hi, welcome to the Big Bear Homestead. She does you so well. Like, it's funny. And y'all, it was hilarious. She has her hair cut short, and so she flipped her hair over and grabbed just the top part of her hair and made like a top knot, like how Jason's is right now. I spit my drink out. I was laughing so hard.
And but yeah, Farmer Mimo got me pretty good. We were vlogging with VW, and I went to do my intro, and then I just heard Farmer Mimo on the back of my head and started. I had to redo it'll be on the vlog.
You'll see it on the vlog.
It's a blooper.
So TNR's answer said that they thought about going to the one in Virginia, but because they thought it was a lot of YouTubers that they wouldn't fit in. Here is the facts about this conference. Yes, a lot of YouTube people do come to this conference. However, that does not make it a YouTube conference. It is still, at the end of the day, it is still focused on homesteading. At the end of the day, no matter what way you cut it, the speakers are all focused on aspects of homesteading. Whether they're YouTube channels that are speaking or not, these people are homesteaders, right? I mean, would you agree with that?
Am I gonna finish the sentence?
No,
okay.
Never.
Here's my two cents on it. All the YouTube channels that are there, they are homesteading.
Yeah.
So to me, it shouldn't matter whether or not somebody has a YouTube channel or not. If they've been homesteading for a while, it's like Salatin said. What did he say in the first conference or the second conference? He said you can't Google experience.
No.
So you got all of these people that like to YouTube and do their YouTube and vlog and share their experience with you.
Hey, Samson Farms.
But they are still out there, just like you and I. They're still out there getting their hands dirty, failing, planting stuff, and it dies. Planting stuff and stuff getting taken over by weeds, having animals die, having to battle in parasites, having to battle this, having to deal with Mother Nature.
Yeah.
And it's all really, it boils down to a rising tide rises all ships. So everybody at this conference is sharing from their experiences, and it's raising the entire community because, for example, I was having some issues with our Premier One hog fencing. Justin Rhodes showed me how to go from between the two poles and said, try this. I had that same problem. I put this tent stake between the two poles to hold down that bottom wire so they couldn't go up and underneath it. It was good to go. So we're going to give it a go. And it's just one of those things that you don't know. They may be bumping their heads against the wall with an issue that you had, that you were able to figure out to do something like this, and you can share it. Just because they got 250,000 subscribers on YouTube
doesn't disqualify them as a homesteader. Like
that, and it doesn't disqualify that. It doesn't make them the know-all, be-all homesteader either. No. Because they're gonna have things that's gonna make them trip and make them stumble, and it's always a learning curve, because not every chicken is the same, not every pig is the same, not every cow is the same, not every tomato plant is the same. Different things happen, and as a community, especially one this large, you are gonna more than likely run into somebody that had kind of same issue.
And that's what's cool about this.
And you can get it answered and go home and fix the problem.
Yeah, this community, like when you look around, you've got so many people, because I can't tell you how many people I talked to, well, we don't have our homestead yet. And it was almost like they were like, well, we don't have our homestead yet. That doesn't matter. Go ahead and do your research. Yeah. Get prepared. You know, start picking the brains of the people that have been doing it. And that's the thing is, like, when I went to my hand-hewn workshop, there was a lady there. There was a lady there. Farmer Meemaw.
Do me a favor real quick. Text the owner.
I don't have their number.
Because
I know.
I want to just make sure that they don't need help.
There was a lady that had driven all the way. I don't have his number. There was a lady that had driven all the way from Albany, New York, just for the class, but then was choosing to not stay for the conference. And I asked her why. What was the purpose of that? And she said that she felt like the stuff that the speakers that she saw didn't address what she had been doing for years. And I said, I don't agree with that. I said, because a lot of these conversations that you may assume that you know everything about, butchering a hog, but you get to talking with Hand-Hewn Farm, and they are such a wealth of knowledge. I guarantee you there's something that they know that you don't, Yeah. And yeah, you may be raising chickens for 10 years, but I guarantee you Joel Salatin may have done something differently than you did that you might not know about. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing about the speakers that they've chosen are people that have been doing this, and they have a lot of experience under their belts that they can throw out things. And that's the other thing is the form of these talks, from what I understand, because I haven't been in them, I've walked past them, but there's usually a little bit of a question and answer at the end of each talk, right, if there's time for it. So there's always the opportunity to pick the brains of these people too and say, hey, I'm having this problem, do you have any suggestions? Where else are you going to have that opportunity? I just don't see where it's not a benefit to be able to go to this. You're putting all of these people that are, I don't like to use the word expert, but they're authorities in their field that you can say, hey, this is what and that's what makes it so great is all these people are approachable. And set it up this way, what do you think? Like, we sat and talked with Hand-Hewn Farm and started talking about scalding and scraping a pig, and Jason was like, I'm gonna do it this, or I want to do it this way, what do you think? And they immediately told us,
they hooked us up.
Don't do it like this, do it like this.
And this is
I'll
why.
tell you why, because we've been there, done that, you know? And so that was cool. Let's see what we got here. I support a local gal who has pigs and goats, and when she gets in a rough spot, do I have to do it? No, but I choose to do it to make them. Any questions? Yeah, after my talk, it was amazing. Exactly. Like, people will come and ask you. Like, even me, I'm not a speaker. I've never been a speaker. I'm not a presenter, nothing like that. But I've been selling soap for a couple of years. So people come to me and ask me, well, I'm trying to do soap, but this keeps happening. Or I had somebody who came up to me and said, my soaps aren't getting hard. They're staying kind of squishy when they're done. And I'm like, well, what's your water percentage at? Well, I don't know. I just put it in the calculator. Well, look at your calculator and look at what your percentage is on your water. Well, sure enough, she looked at it and she was like, well, it's at 38%. I said, yeah, you need to bump that to like 35 or 33 because what happens is you have more liquid. And so we started talking about it. And even though I'm not a presenter or a speaker, that's the other thing that people don't get is the more you start talking to people, you realize that not only are there these speakers here, but there's all these people here also with experience as well that you can talk to and pick the brains of. So that's the thing I think is cool as well. Do you make the lye soap with lard? Mom and Grandma made it and I loved it, but I don't know how to make it. Yes, I do. I make it with lard. I make it with coconut oil, olive oil, grapeseed oil, just about any oil I can get my hands on. I've tried. I've even used vegetable shortening, anything. I try to tweak, mixtures, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of just looking for lather and conditioning and things like that. And that's the great resource of that soap calc, is it'll tell you all that. Right away, I love it. What was she talking about? Yeah, what works for one may not work well for another. That's where trial and error and gleaning experience and knowledge from people who have been there, done that. Exactly. Yes, I've used sunflower oil. One thing that I realized that I had done and I didn't realize it, is I had a soap that I made last year that did really, really well. And I have completely abandoned making it. And I need to go back to doing that, because I actually had people come up to my... I had a bunch of people come up to my table and ask me about it, and I was like, oops. Completely forgot. You have to buy me more roses, by the way. I made a very small... this weekend was really funny. I was using a lot of, brewing references, and I was talking about the different oils that I was making my soaps with, and I was like, well, these are kind of like top shelf oils. Like when you're talking about, these aren't well oils, these are top shelf. And then I was talking about making a micro brew or a small batch, and everybody's like, okay, yeah, I kind of get it. I'm like, just humor me, just go with me on this. So we're passing the exit for Stanton, which is where Polyface Farm is. We're not going to go this year. We just don't really have the time to do it. But we will be maybe next year. I think they used red devil dye. I don't know what the name of mine is, but I get it off of Amazon. And I used to, LOL, soap is soap. I'm gonna get you.
That is the best saying ever.
We need a t-shirt that says soap is soap.
And on the back it needs to say yarn is yarn.
So TJ asked us, how did the table do? How did the table do?
I don't know, how did your table do?
So we found that this year...
over here in my little chocolate-covered dragon self.
We were able to compare last year versus this year. Last year, Jason was a presenter and spoke on predator control, and all weekend... Still blown away
about how many people I had in that class.
Yeah, and all weekend we were... we had a lot of traffic with traps and stuff, and I did sell soap and I did sell crocheted stuff, but the majority was that. A truck is a truck, a tool is a tool. Now I'm bugging you to run errands. Bye, y'all. That's soap. I love soap. It's just soap. Yeah. So this year, the focus was more on soaps and crocheted items for our table. I sold out of my ponchos and shawls.
You were steadily making them to try to have more for the next day.
Yeah,
we were sitting around the table with a bunch of really close friends and people that are becoming close friends, and playing a game, and Robin's playing a game and trying to crochet.
Well, because this is what happened, and I did not expect this, y'all. We were blown away. Within the first 2 hours, before lunch, I had already sold like 3 shawls, and I think I had sold the poncho, or maybe right after lunch, had already sold all of that stuff. And I looked at Jason and I was like, honey, I have to make some more shawls. And he's like, what? I'm like, we're missing an opportunity here, because the women that came and looked at stuff and were like, well, I'll come back and get it later. Well, in the meantime, somebody else came and got that shawl, and now they didn't have a shawl to buy. And I'm like, I know there are at least 3 other people that want to come buy shawls, and when they come and they're not on that table, you know, and
missed
then
opportunity.
Yeah, missed opportunity. So here we are sitting around the table trying to enjoy friends and stuff, and I'm sitting there like rolling up yarn balls and crocheting while we're in between writing pictures and stuff. And then the whole day Saturday, I'm talking to people about soap, and I'm like steadily, if you look on Instagram, that's the picture. That was my Saturday, was sitting around crocheting, and people like looking at me crocheting, and like, I think I want that one. And I'm like,
When you get done with
when you get done with that, I'll be back to get it.
How long do you think it's going to
How
take?
much longer do you think it's going to be? About 15 minutes. Okay, I'll be back. Is it done? Yep, here you go. Start another one. Because I made 2 Saturday, and they both left the table. The other thing was the soaps. Warriors Repose. I found out that Friday night, because of the campfires and stuff around at the campsite, at the fairgrounds, a bunch of people get to, you know, visiting and talking and stuff. And apparently Rose and Josh were talking up our soap. And Rose, correct me if I'm wrong, have you used the soap before, or just heard about the soap before? Because I couldn't remember. I've been selling it for a year, and I've sold to so many people I couldn't remember. But it's been such a blessing to so many people that I love. Yeah, she hasn't even used it yet, but again, I feel so confident about this soap that I'm hoping that it'll help them, you know, like it's helped Josh and other people. I had people come talk to me at the table and like, tell me about this soap. It's a really effective soap. So, but again, you know, when you're super busy at these conferences and you go, and we kind of had the same thing happen to us. We went to go get some mushrooms, and by the time we got over there, most of the stuff we wanted was gone. So I definitely have learned my lesson on that I need to start building up stock. We sniffed it around the fire and I slept well. So just smelling it was effective. So so that's the thing, is that we definitely learned we have to start beefing up our stock for stuff. And hopefully we won't run out of stuff. Like mushrooms is something I want to learn to grow. I dehydrated some last night, but they were store-bought. So yeah, they have Windermere Farms.
Mm-hmm.
They're out of Maryland. The guy's name is Andy, I believe.
Yes.
Andy. He
is a down-to-earth
very
dude.
down-to-earth dude with a big mushroom on his shirt. It's funny.
My favorite shirt was one that he was wearing. It was a big mushroom and had Smurf on it.
Mm-hmm.
He will cut up, joke with you,
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And we were over there talking to him, and then
Morgan. No, that's not where you're going. I thought I was trying to help you with his name.
And we were over there sometimes 15 years.
But that's where you were going, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I I was watching your brain across the screen, struggling to remember his name.
No, I was struggling to remember the mushroom that he was trying to push.
Oh, the black oysters, black oyster mushrooms.
So
Yeah.
I was asking Robin. I was like, "Well, what type of mushroom do you want?" And this is where I'm saying this dude loves to cut up. He's like, I really think you guys should try the black oysters, and just starts putting bags.
Well, yeah, he was replenishing his stock.
And Robin's like, are you saying that just because you've got that's
pretty much all you
got
have
left?
left?
And he was like, yes. And then about that time, Morgan came over.
Goldshaw.
And started talking. He was like, hey, want to get you guys on the podcast. And so we zipped over there and we did that. Well, by the time that we were coming back by the mushroom guy, he was swamped again. Mm-hmm. And so we
had been away from our booth for a while, so I wanted to I took a beeline straight for our booth.
And so we went back to the booth, and then we never had the opportunity to get back up there to him. And so we get a message from them that this is the kind of guy he is.
10:30 at night.
I'm sharing this story because I'm trying to articulate how much of a caring person he is. Mm-hmm. He cut up with us and we joked, fun, we have a good time. We went over and did the podcast with Morgan. He was swamped. We went back to our booth. Wasn't able to get back there. At 10:30 at night, he sent us a message saying, "Hey, I hope I didn't upset you about the whole black oyster, right? Mushrooms." And Robin was like, "No, and basically told him, "Look, when we came back, you were swamped. We went to our booth, and unfortunately, we never had the opportunity to get back up there. So he's going to have to. The ones that Robin wants, we're going to order from him, and he's going to end up shipping them to us." And
right.
And that's one thing about the Homesteaders of America conference. Everybody there, let me rephrase. Everybody that we had contact with has always been down to earth. They have very big, kind hearts, and it's been just an absolute great experience. Like Tommy Alderman, for example, did not have a booth this year and was walking around. Robin was out because if you guys remember the video where Robin took artistic liberties when she was supposed to push me out of the way, and instead she turned into Lawrence Taylor and tackled me, body blocked me out of the way. Robin is going to be taking over and doing more of the video kind of stuff, doing more of the vlogs. I'll do all the how-to videos, for the most part anyway. And so Robin was out filming. Carol was volunteering, and Ladessa was off playing. And I saw Tommy walking down the street, and I hollered out. I was like, "Tommy!" And he came over, and I was like, "Can you please watch my booth? I have to pee." He's like, "Absolutely." And that's the kind of thing that's, "What's up, 180? What's up, my dog? Roof, roof."
I think it's time for me to drive.
No. So.
I don't have my helmet. We're all sharing food at the campsite. We got to introduce a ton of people to how delicious quail. Oh, really? Y'all had quail?
Oh, and then give me a bite. That's how it is.
Wait, speaking of quail,
once again, we cannot leave a get-together or a conference without some type of fowl.
That's not true. We didn't have fowl last year. We just had mushrooms. We had 1,000 plugs of mushrooms last year.
I think Robin's motto, right? Robin's motto. My family motto that's been passed down since 1500s is wounded but not conquered. My wife's motto, it probably came around in about the 70s. And the Department of Agriculture is the one who really phrased it. Robin just adopted it, which is go big or go home.
I don't know. Now here's another plug. AJ Farms. Anita Garrett. I think her husband's name is John, maybe.
Yep. Another person on my list.
I laughed harder this weekend than I have in a long time. Oh, yeah. I couldn't agree with that statement.
Friday night, I laughed so hard. My stomach hurt, and
Francie.
I got a headache.
Yeah.
I've never in my life laughed that hard that
So hard you had a headache.
That I got a headache.
So can you give me some more water? Thanks. Yeah, so we had a really, really good time. We had a lot of really cool things happen too. Jennifer from J Love, she brought us some apple butter. Josh brought us some goods. I can't wait to wear it. Josh made a hair piece that looks like a bow out of, I think it's Damascus, because it's got like the little swirly thingies in it, and the little pick thingies, like twisty twirly. And is it in here?
You know, no matter how many times you try to teach somebody the proper jargon, they're still going to put it in their own words.
Twisty twirly swirly thing.
Twisty twirly.
See,
swirly.
twisty twirly swirly thing. And don't stab anybody with that, because you could kill someone. Just saying.
Can you stay on your side of the road there? I mean,
I'm not talking to you.
I'm not talking to you.
I know, I'm not talking to you.
That Patriots fan that was driving that 18-wheeler.
Crap-olo, where is it?
I don't know. But I also got a couple of gifts.
Yes, that's what I was leading up to.
And
you got some cool gifts too.
But I'm not going to say what they are on the live stream, because I'm going to do
you told
some.
me that, because I was fixing to say something.
I know I was fixing to be like, do some videos on them, because they are, both of them are video worthy.
Yes.
But I will give you an Easter egg. I got a new LogOx hat.
Oh yeah, so that was one thing that happened. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I wasn't even talking about that. But yes. So there was a question posed asking Robin and Jason, but those are the best times. Do you find days later that you laugh just remembering those days? I imagine we absolutely will.
Yeah. We won't be able to shut that down for a while.
Look, I'm gonna tell you, even funnier. I was in because we stopped at 8 Cracker Barrel before we left.
Uh-huh.
And I was standing in line waiting to pay, and I looked over, and there was I think it was maybe like a greeting card or something,
Uh-huh.
and it was an artistic rendition of an angel. And I immediately was thinking about Friday night, so I forgot to pass out my gifts. Sorry, you were going to get some. Wait, huh? Oh, we weren't, yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting anything from anybody. We just had some random people that came up and gave us certain things, and things that they had been holding on to.
And another thing is, I don't think I'll ever be able to look at a picture of Pikachu and not smile.
Got no strings to hold me down. Just saying.
Oh, Harry Potter.
Hey, slow your roll, man. Put your cruise on.
I'm going down a hill.
I know, but if you put your cruise on, it won't be a problem.
Okay.
So, anyway. So, yeah, we definitely have a lot of, like, these kind of things provide a lot of inside jokes for later down the road. So that's always nice as well to have, you know.
Yeah.
Oops. That was a soap sack that I forgot that I was working on, apparently. Robin, Katie is saying hi. She can't look at her screen. She was, yes. So what?
I'm trying to see in the mirror.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get out your way.
Yeah, the way now. I'm over.
Yes, I saw.
This guy's going way too
Tell
fast.
Katie that I have been praying for her. I heard that I saw it. She got in a car accident. She was rear-ended. And, I saw that, and I have definitely had her in my thoughts. What?
Calm down a little bit. That guy was trying to make my T-Rex come out.
Cracker Barrel, so many things I could tell you. I worked there for 5 years and 3 days.
How many hours?
Wait, what? Salted caramel pear butter? Okay, well then let me explain something to you there, Rose.
You ain't getting that soap.
You ain't getting your soap until I get my salted caramel pear butter, just saying. Now, I did talk, and Rose, I don't know if Ryan told you, but I do go to Atlanta right now anyway. I go there once a week, and so I told him if we can figure out a way to meet, I'll be more than happy to kind of, get him some soap so y'all don't have to worry about shipping. Like, I know that kind of stinks, but that was kind of where I was at as far as being able to send stuff. I mean, I did have people that literally were waiting to buy their soap, and then they came by, and I was out. So that is one that I have to learn. My stock needs to be a lot higher than I've had.
So this is what I'm telling myself. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is what I'm telling myself.
Okay, same self.
We went to the Homesteaders of America conference. This is our 3rd year. Okay. Went to the Shindig. Went to Homesteading Life.
Yes.
Went to the Meyer Hatchery thing.
Yes.
We went to all of these ones.
Yes.
Right? I think I have successfully put a dog-proof, aka the coon cuff trap. I think I put it in everybody's
hands.
In everybody's hands.
Yeah, we didn't sell as many this time. And it was because Jason would say, "You need one of these." He's like, "No, I got one from you in Missouri, and it works amazing."
and so it's like this.
Yes.
Coon cuff at every homestead in America.
Check. That's for you, Zach. There, I found it. Now, where's the little sticky thing?
Where's the sticky part?
So you take the little sticky part and you put it in the hole. And it goes through like that. So I will definitely be using this. I think that's Damascus, yeah, because it's all got the wavy stuff. It's really, really cool. So, anyway. Let's see.
So, okay. I think Rose asked what state we were in.
Oh, we're still in...
I think we're still in
Virginia, I believe. Yeah, 196. Yeah, we're still in Virginia. Yeah, still in Virginia.
If I don't get around this guy, we're going to be in Virginia next week. Still. We are coming up on Lexington.
Yeah,
Lexington, Virginia. Rose, are you home yet? Did she ever say if she was home yet? She should be. I mean, I think they left late last night.
Yeah, didn't they? I was going to say, I thought they left yesterday.
But I thought they had a stop to make. That's why they left.
I don't know, yeah. Don't know how that works.
Hey, Liz.
What's up, Liz? From the other side of the
How's the other side of the
world.
pond?
She's in the UK, correct?
Yeah.
We're in North Carolina.
What part of North Carolina?
I left yesterday and traffic was awful going through down to Salisbury, North Carolina. I feel like that's outside of Charlotte. Is that correct? Because that's what we were seeing, is that I think there's traffic. I mean, construction. Just kidding. Oh, no.
We stayed in Warrington last night.
Warrington, okay. I'm stopping to see Cherish, okay. Are y'all exhausted now? A little bit. But exhausted in a good way. Like, not empty. Right? Would you say? I mean, I'm tired.
I feel well, one of the things that I physically, I'm exhausted. Okay? But I also feel like coming to these things and being able to vent, share my frustrations with my friends, talk about the issues that we're having on the homestead, and
also like
in life in general.
Right.
I feel like I get the wind in my sail. I fill up on encouragement and
or like the opportunity to bounce ideas. Like, I was thinking about doing this. Absolutely, that's a great idea. Do it. You know.
Yeah.
Definitely get. You know. So.
You know, and plus, it fills your heart up when you get to see because like I can Skype with Amy or Nunda,
right,
or anybody all day long.
Right.
But being able to sit down with them or give them a hug, that fills your heart back up.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And being able to, because like the first time we met the Stivers was at the Shindig, but we did not get to spend a lot of time with them.
No, and I don't know if you remember, because it's been a while, but we were not feeling well. We had like some kind of crud we were fighting.
Yeah.
So like my voice was, by the time the Shindig was over that Saturday evening where we were all sitting around and visiting, my voice was completely gone. I felt like hammered monkey poop. And so wanting to spend time with people, I did want to, but my body, I passed out before everybody went to bed. Remember, I went downstairs and crawled into bed before everybody left.
Oh, I just thought you were being antisocial.
No, I felt like crap. And so that was the thing, is like, that was the other thing that was really nice about this one, was that I felt good, and I had a chance to pull some yuck.
At what racetrack? In
Wherever
Charlotte?
she is.
She's still in North Carolina.
She's north of Charlotte. That's not good.
No, because we got to go through that too.
Yeah. Watch this
What is
dude.
this dude?
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Anyway.
I got a little Prius over here. It was about to get interesting. All right, Rose, check the traffic and let us know.
What, baby?
Or
What let us know? That's a Prius.
later, Ethan. Hey, send me a Marco Polo later. Let's see. What are you doing?
Organizing my bag. It got all disheveled this weekend because of everybody using it to...
Bag on a live stream.
Huh?
How are you going to organize your bag on a live stream?
Well, because I was looking for that piece for that hair bow thingy. And you know how I get distracted and it drives me crazy. And once I get it fixed, then I will be completely at your disposal now.
I do have to kind of admit something.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be kind of kicking somebody in the bus. But Two Family is an enabler. Two Family Homesteader enablers.
Why?
Why? Because they bought me. I made the comment talking with Daryl a long time ago that when I'm editing, I have to have Twizzlers. I have a very hard time editing a video without Twizzlers. It's just that's my vice, I guess. And so I've been trying really hard here of late to be able to do it without having the Twizzlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because believe it or not, I've had a bag of Twizzlers in my desk in a Ziploc bag, hidden from everybody. That's just one of the bags. They brought me a couple of bags of Twizzlers. I cannot believe you're eating my Twizzlers.
Extra large licorice.
And so they're enabling me to get diabetes.
And they're also enabling me to have a bungee arm.
A what?
Because she bought me yarn.
So it's two families' fault.
Yep.
Because I will never take personal responsibility for that one.
So Suburban, that's absolutely right. Look at this kind. Check it out. Touch it.
Uh-oh, read that to me.
My son's still talking about meeting you, Jason. You really influenced him.
And who said that?
Making lemons from lemonade.
Making lemons.
Lemonade from lemons.
Help me with a little bit more than that, because I had a couple of moms tell me that.
Yeah, I don't know the channel name versus the face. It's hard to see the...
Yeah. I'll ask this question. Is your son the one that has the beard fetish? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. I just pulled up her channel.
Yeah. Yes. He likes the beards.
I thought it might be cheesecake. Sherry didn't have any cheesecake.
I know, right?
No cheesecake this time.
Well, because she knew Jeremiah would steal it.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what you thought.
Or Carol. Or Dessa.
We got the cheesecake.
Right, but she didn't bake any. She didn't have any made.
So.
Which they've been very busy back and forth with a
Yeah, they've
bunch
been
of
traveling.
traveling, so I wasn't expecting cheesecake. I wasn't. You want the rest of it? Mine. Not my favorite.
So, am I like the only one that Twizzlers is like your crack cocaine?
Yes.
Like, I don't even want to know how it's made, because it'll probably, like, completely ruin it for me, like Twinkies. Like, once I learned how Twinkies were made, I stopped eating them.
Yeah.
You don't want to know. I am not going to ruin that for you.
Yep. Only thing I like to do with Twizzlers is use them as straws. In the movie theater, I liked Twizzlers.
Twizzlers make awesome straws. And whistles.
Twizzlers are gross. I knew Farmer Meemaw would come in and say that.
You found where you were going yet? But now, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to make this Stivers. I really, really wish we could. But that's in like 3 weeks. And there's just no way for us to be able to afford to, because we have to rent a vehicle. And renting a vehicle and traveling, it's just crazy expensive. And there's no way that we could recoup to make the money back so we can have it back in the rent-a-car fund in 3 weeks. So, and we told them that, and they completely understood, and they were cool about it. You know, of course they wish we could come.
Right.
You know, but we can't. So now we have kind of taken a break putting videos out for a little while, because we were getting duckies in a row. And there's a huge announcement coming. We hinted about it with Rose on her vlog. I don't know if she's got it edited yet, or she's gonna put that out, but we did. And we've been hinting about it on Instagram and Facebook and on live streams and stuff like that.
Don't spoil my video. What video?
The one her and I did.
Oh.
Where she tried to kick me under the bus.
Anyway. Robin's getting more animals. No. Not necessarily.
Well, yeah, you
Maybe.
did, because they're in the back.
Speaking of which, we need to stop and check on them.
We need to get food. It's not time to feed them.
So,
I totally did.
kind of backfired, though. Yeah, so don't act like, oh, no, Robin's not getting any more animals. I got animals in the bed of the truck that Robin got.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
You got a big blue bubble in the bed.
Y'all are almost at 16K. Yeah, we're trying.
yeah, we're trying.
But really, we're not focusing on the numbers, y'all. We have realized, and that's what I love about going to these conferences. And no matter
We
what
actually filmed at this one.
Yes. But what we realize whenever we come to these conferences is we influence a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
We really do. Like, we meet a lot of people that are like, that we may not even know because they don't comment, they don't, but they'll, you met the guy last night about the cattle.
Yes.
I was watching all your cattle videos. That's the whole reason I started watching you. I really like your cattle videos. That, and you might not otherwise know that until you get face to face with people.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a big one. I had no clue. And it always gets me because I just have a heart for children. I had this little boy, and he's the sweetest little thing, come walking up real awkward, like just stare. And they always do that, just stare. And he knew who I was. Man, he knew who I was.
You're his Belinda Carlisle.
And he looked at me, and his dad was right there with him. And I'm like, from that look, I know that you know who I am. Help me out, refresh my memory, tell me who you are. Because his dad looked familiar. Well, come to find out, this was Loma Acres and Little Sprout. And he came over and he was very awkward, wanted to, take a picture. And I was like, well, I want a hug. And he was like, I think I can do a hug. I was like, wow, really? I think I can do a hug. And I was like, all right. And then it was so great to see his dad post in the Big Bear Nation. If you haven't seen those pictures, definitely check them out. He said that I got the first hug of the day even before his own mother. So as a mom, that just warms my heart even more because I got a hug before mom got a hug that morning. So that was pretty stinking cool. And then he was adorable because I guess they sell soaps too. And so he was like, you could come over to my table and come buy some soaps. And I was like, yeah, you're a good salesperson. He was so ready. I wish I could get more animals. My town I live in only allows 12 chickens and no rooster. You're fortunate. There were some people we ran into that were only allowed to have 4 or 6, I think they were telling me. So, 12 is quite a bit compared to 4. I have somebody else say something.
Yeah, everybody wants to know what's in the back of the
Now
truck.
I'm focused on what is in the truck. Ducks, chickens, turkeys, quail. I have 10 quail in the back of the truck.
There's a llama in the back of the truck.
Liz says I have to run. I'm heading towards bedtime. Good night.
There's a llama in the back. There's a snake in my boot.
There's a snake in my boot. No, we have 10 quail from AJ Farms. Another really, really high quality, reputable vendor at the HOA. They have developed these cages for transport, observation, a bunch of different cages that they've set up. One thing I heard Anita say with quail, that their system allows them that you could raise 192 birds. Listen to this, y'all. 192 birds in a 4-foot imprint. So in 4 feet and up, you could raise 192 birds.
So did you get the instructions on building this system?
No, but I figured you could look at it and figure it out.
That thing?
Yeah.
Those cages?
Yeah, but they tier them. And they put, she said, now the ones that we got are meat makers, so they're bigger. They're the jumbo coturnics, I guess.
Yeah. They're going to lay eggs?
Mm-hmm.
Because Daddy wants some pickled quail eggs.
Mama doesn't want you to have some pickled quail
Well,
eggs.
it's not all about what Mama
Well, then you
wants
can sleep
sometimes.
on the couch. Just saying.
Like it won't permeate through the entire house.
That's a good point. You're out in the schoolhouse. You can just stay out there
That's fine. Because just remember one thing.
Saturday night.
how
I'd be stewing.
How the Ethernet cable is run out there. That's a 3/4 inch chunk of pipe that's going to come right into the house.
Nice.
I'll make sure I fart right over top of it.
That's horrible.
What if I plug your internet and goes up that?
Okay, speaking of pickled quail eggs, who just let one rip? Good golly, Miss Molly.
That's
These ones out there.
no,
No, that's a
Because-
Ladessa fart.
because that's a Ladessa fart. Because her farts tickle her when they come out, so she starts giggling.
Jason got gas eggs that way, but I didn't have fun trying to peel those eggs. I'll tell you, that's another thing, and I didn't get it from her, but she actually has a pair of scissors that you put on the egg, and it cracks the shell, because the shells are hard, if you didn't know. The shells are super, super tough to peel. And so she has a pair of scissors that go over the egg, and it cracks the egg so that you can get the shell off.
I know, but if we're going to do it this time, we've got to kind of make them in pint jars.
Yeah.
Because
no,
I
quarts are
sit-
ridiculous.
I sit
yeah.
down and eat that entire quart, and that's why I get the bad gas.
Yeah, I can't blame the dog on that one. No, can't blame the dog on that
I
one.
have one right now.
Yeah, speaking of blaming dogs, Gizmo eats mushrooms,
Yeah, and tomatoes,
tomatoes,
peppers,
muscadines.
muscadines.
He's a vegan.
He is a vegan dog. Refuses to eat his
Dog.
dog food.
It's funny.
But,
There was an electric sign up there
uh-huh.
that says camp in state parks, not the left lane.
Nice.
See, the reason why it took you so long is you're a camper in the left lane.
No, I'm not.
Oh, yes.
No, I'm not.
So that is a pet peeve of mine.
People just hang out in left lane.
People just get in the left lane. Look, like, for example, right now I'm cruising in the right lane.
Right.
70 mile an hour speed limit, I'm doing 74.
Yep.
The reason why I'm doing 74 is because I got to do 74 because the traffic is just going to run me over if I do anything less.
Well, and we are going downhill. We're going downhill a little
Right.
bit, and so there's a little bit of a grade there, so people tend
There's
to go a
still
little bit
people
faster.
that are in the left lane and they're going faster than me.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the left lane is about passing. So if you're doing 114 miles an hour and I'm doing 115 miles an hour, get out of the left lane because you're going slower than me.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Whoa.
Taking it in?
Mm-mm.
So, but we are homeward bound after the HOA conference, and we are in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Headed home to the Big Bear Homestead.
Mm-hmm.
Can we stop and get the quote?
We still have 88 miles on 81.
So we still got 88 miles in Virginia.
Mm.
That's the one thing about this trip. With us, it was like 15 minutes we were in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Then it seemed like another hour we're in North Carolina. And then we're in North Carolina for like 7 days. Then we finally break over to the Virginia line, and then from the Virginia line to Fort Worth, it seems like it takes another 8 days. You know, to be honest, it seems like we've been on the road like 6-7 hours, and we're still in Virginia.
But we haven't.
I know. I'm just telling you what it feels like.
We've only been on the road for like 2 hours.
I'm just telling you what it feels like.
Okay.
That's how I feel. I'm communicating my feelings to you. Chocolate dragon. So,
Yep.
but it's a beautiful state. It is.
Especially, I'm looking around right now.
Well, show them what you're looking at.
There are mountains everywhere. There. Check out this mountain. So, definitely a pretty trip.
Yep.
I live on the other side of those mountains. Well, that's cool.
See that mountain over there?
Mm-hmm.
One of these days, I'm gonna climb that mountain.
So,
You know where that's from? What? You don't know what that's from?
70 is the speed limit.
I know. I'm doing 74.
Okay.
Go any slower, we're gonna get run over by these 18-wheelers. 18-wheelers.
And it does in
You
Roseanne.
said Alabama Mountain Man.
That's exactly where that was from.
Alabama Mountain Man.
The song. The country group Alabama. The song was Mountain Man.
Sing it again.
It wasn't singing, it was in the beginning of the song.
Oh, it says what now?
He says, you see that? It's an old man. And he's like, you see that mountain over there? One of these days, I'm going to climb that mountain. Why did my voice sound like a mixture of The Godfather and
Somebody
Bill
taking a poo.
Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
So, play me some mountain music.
Like Grandma and Grandpa used to play.
What's up, Overlook?
Yeah, mountain music, not mountain man.
It's the same difference. Man, Overlook, wish y'all would have been able to make it out this year. That'd have been fun to meet y'all face to face. Face to face.
Okay, I'm adding a detour to a Tractor Supply. So that we can stop and get coffee.
They can fast. They're okay.
They're
Look,
birds.
a farm girl in the making, I talked to her about Apollo. And she said with us, because of, and that, you know, here's another thing about the conference. Okay? We've been having issues with Apollo and an ear infection.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and we've been battling it now for almost a year. And I talked to her briefly when she was on Two Families Live. And I started doing my research and homework about a raw diet. And of course, I kicked the idea to my vet, and of course, she rejected it.
But that's not saying anything because she
Yeah,
rejected
she
essential
rejected-
oils
right.
at first too.
And so I saw a farm girl in the making on a golf cart. I hollered at her. I didn't,
Yeah,
really,
you
ho-
did.
didn't really holler at her. We kind of like made eye contact. It was
Right,
like
right.
accidentally. So then I ran up and started talking to her, and I said, "Hey, look, this is what I got. This is what I got going on with Paulo.
Right.
They said that he has a food allergy, and that's why he keeps getting these ear infections.
Right.
And within like
5 or 6 questions.
No, it wasn't even that many. It was
Oh,
like
really?
1 or 2 questions
Uh-huh.
she asked, and she's like, "He's getting too much yeast in his diet. You got to get him off the kibble." And I mean, now I've been going back and forth with my
authority, not just kind of
Yeah.
guessing. She knew.
vet. She knew.
Knife hand knew.
Yeah. bow, new. And we've been going back and forth with the vet, and they kept saying, you know, well, maybe it could be this, it could be that. She literally asked me, she's like, does he lick his paws? I said, yeah, he licks his
All
paws.
the time.
He's licking so much that he made a sore on one that we have to watch him with. He's getting too much yeast. She goes, I bet he eats a lot of grass too. Yeah, all the time. She's like, yeah, he's getting too much yeast in his diet. She goes, you got to get him out of that. And so she's going to be sending me some links for some stuff to get Apollo on. And she just like kind of like verbal vomited. She's like, yeah. And then she realized that she probably gave somebody with a memory issue way too much information. And one time she's like, I'm gonna send you some links. But she was talking about with her pits, you know, and basically kind of watching his poo, and then she knows whether or not to give him pumpkin or this or that. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, this I actually get to fix my dog so he's not digging in that ear and he's not getting all kinds of gunk in it, and he stops licking those paws because you're trying to go to sleep and you're hearing slurp, slurp, slurp.
And of course, it's against the paws. It's like the scratching.
Yeah. So I am super excited about that. So if out of everything that happened in the conference, wasn't enough, I got the bonus of I actually get to fix what's wrong with my dog. And it took a 5-minute conversation.
Right.
5-minute conversation with the right person that was able to figure out what was wrong with my dog faster than the vets did.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and it just goes back to, and it goes back to this. Just like human doctors they get 0 classes on nutrition now. They just want to push pills and push this and do this.
Right.
I'm betting vets are the same way.
Probably.
They get and I know that it's true because when I threw the idea out to my vet about the raw diet, she conceded back after she kind of could tell that I was like really serious about it, and she's like, I want to send you to a canine nutritionist. Let her meet Apollo, and then you guys go from there. Yeah. And it's like, now I'm kind of like, I had my conversation.
Right.
And bam. Yeah. As soon as I get my links, Apollo is going to be. And she flat out told me, I got to baby step him.
Yes, overlook, you're right. I'm exhausted.
Into this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we got to start. She's like, if we can start with lamb is the best thing to start stepping him in with. And a heart is considered a muscle, not an organ when it comes to feeding them. You're saying yes,
I do that.
I mean, we all knew it was a.
No, but to eat, because like we were talking about this the other night when we were sitting around the table. Everybody's talking about things that they've eaten. Mm-hmm. One of the things that came up is we were talking about like the tongue. The tongue is a muscle.
Yes. Beef tongue, so good.
And the heart, in that aspect, is considered a muscle to eat, like when you're eating it. Raw diets usually go really good, but when they go wrong, they go really wrong. So that's why we haven't tried it yet, because we're not an authority in it. So we were waiting to be able to reach out because we knew Ann was going to be there. So we've been waiting to reach out to her because she's been doing it for such a long time.
I was using her channel name because I didn't know she wanted her real name out there.
She's written a book. Her name's out there.
That's true.
Hi, do you... What? Okay. Anyway. I feel like that's all. See, this is what I'm talking about. We are raising food snobs.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You know, and that was something funny that Han Yoon, you said they said in the class.
Well, so we were sitting talking about butchering the pigs and everything. Let's see. My friend's feeds raw only. I'll ask if she has some resources. She's been doing it for years. That would be awesome, Suburban. Thanks. We were talking about the charcuterie, which I'm so glad. Just in the weekend, if I haven't learned anything else this weekend, I have learned if you look at that word and try to pronounce it, it is ridiculous. But we used it enough this weekend. I feel confident calling it charcuterie. Like I'm okay with it now. But
we're about 8 hours.
We start talking about charcuterie and raising pigs, and the thing is that if you're raising hogs just to do charcuterie, like you're gonna be in the hole. Like, because you want to raise hogs longer for charcuterie because the salt pulls out the flavor of the pig, and the longer the pig is alive, the more flavor the pig has. So,
can I interrupt you for a second?
Uh-huh.
I also want to take this time right now, and I want to publicly thank the guys at Hand Hewn Farm again. I went up and I shook their hand and I told them thank you because after this conference I get a 410 shotgun, new butcher knives, and a really nice apron.
Yes. No.
What was that?
Nothing. I just don't want it up there, so I'm about to open up the camera.
No, you deleted a message, didn't you?
Yes. So.
Someone's asking what was said.
That's what I told you.
Okay.
So. You were talking. Oh no, no. What? No. Say that again.
Huh?
You were thanking them for what?
Yeah, for the stuff that I thanked them when you were there.
No. Say it again. What were you saying you were going to get?
I said I was going to get a 410 shotgun. We were getting and we were getting aprons.
No, that's not what I said. She said, "You owe me."